You worked for years, saved every dollar you could, and finally pulled into the dealership to buy the car you always dreamed of. And 5 years later, you would give anything to have that money back. Nobody warns you before you sign those papers, but buying your dream car at 25 might be the single most expensive financial decision you ever make. Stay right here because in the next few minutes I am going to show you exactly what happens to your money, your mindset, and your future when you make that one purchase too early. And by the end of this video, you are going to see that car sitting in your driveway completely differently. This is not about telling you what you cannot have. It is about showing you the true cost of having it at the wrong time. Let us talk about Jordan. Jordan was 25, living in Phoenix, Arizona, working a solid sales job, pulling in about $65,000 a year. He was not rich, but he was not broken either. He had a few thousand in savings, a small apartment, and a used Honda Civic that got him everywhere he needed to go. But Jordan had a dream. Ever since he was 15 years old, sitting in his dad's driveway, flipping through car magazines, he wanted a BMW 4 Series. Black exterior, tan leather interior, sunroof, the whole thing. And at 25, he told himself he had earned it. So, he walked into that dealership on a Saturday morning, test drove the car, felt the leather under his hands, heard the engine purr, and signed the papers before lunchtime. Monthly payment $720. He drove home with the windows down and the music up, feeling like he had finally made it. 5 years later, Jordan is sitting in a financial advisor's office, trying to figure out why, after half a decade of working hard, he has almost nothing to show for it. And the answer was sitting in his driveway the whole time. Here is the thing most people do not understand about a car payment. It is not just the monthly number that hurts you. It is everything attached to it. Insurance on a luxury vehicle can run anywhere from $200 to $400 a month. Maintenance costs on a BMW or Mercedes are, on average, 2 to 3 times higher than a standard vehicle. Then you have got registration fees, interest on the loan, and the quiet, invisible killer depreciation. Here's a number that should genuinely stop you cold. The average new car loses about 20% of its value in the first year alone. By year 5, it is worth roughly 40% of what you paid for it. So Jordan bought a car for $52,000. 5 years later, it is worth around $20,000. He did not just spend money. He watched $32,000 quietly disappear while he was still making the payments. But that is only part of the story. And the part most people never hear is the part that really changes everything. Let me ask you a simple question. What if Jordan had taken that same $720 a month and invested it instead? Over 5 years, at an average stock market return of about 10%, that is over $55,000. And if he had left it alone until he was 45, that single decision, car versus investment, would have grown into over $380,000. That BMW did not just cost Jordan $52,000. It cost him almost $400,000 in future wealth. And he had no idea. Nobody told him. The dealership certainly did not mention it. Now, before you think Jordan's story is extreme or unusual, let me tell you it is not. It is happening every single day across America to smart, hard-working people who just wanted something they felt they deserved. And the emotional part of this is the piece nobody talks about. When Jordan drove that car home at 25, it felt incredible. People looked, coworkers asked about it. He felt successful. He felt like he had arrived somewhere. And that feeling lasted honestly about 3 months. Then it became normal. Then it became just a car. And then the weight of that payment, month after month, started to feel less like a reward and more like a trap. That is the psychology of lifestyle inflation. You buy the thing. You get the rush. The rush fades, but the payment stays. And what once felt like a symbol of success slowly starts to feel like a ball and chain around your ankle. So, what are the 3 things nobody told Jordan and nobody is telling you before you walk into that dealership? The first one is the opportunity cost truth. Every dollar you spend on a depreciating asset at 25 does not just disappear. It takes with it every dollar that dollar could have become. This is called opportunity cost. And it is the most powerful financial concept you have probably never been taught. It means that your choices do not just have a price tag, they have a future price tag too. And when you are young, that future price tag is enormous because you have time on your side. Think about this. The gap between a $200 a month payment on a reliable used car and a $720 a month payment on a dream car is $520. Over 5 years, that is $31,200. Invested over 20 years, that becomes over $200,000. Not because of some financial magic. Because of compound interest, the simple math of money growing on top of itself over time. Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And the cruel irony is that your 20s are the exact years when compound interest wants to work hardest for you. Every dollar you invest at 25 has 40 years to grow before a standard retirement age. Every dollar you spend on a payment at 25 is a dollar that never gets that chance. The dream car feels like a reward, but mathematically it is a penalty on your future self. Now here is the part that gets really uncomfortable, and I want you to sit with this for a second. The second thing nobody tells you is that the car is rarely about the car. I want you to think honestly about why you want that specific car, not the logical reasons, the real ones. Is it because of how it makes you feel when you are driving it? Is it because of how other people look at you when you pull up? Is it because somewhere deep down you want to prove something to yourself, to your family, to that person from high school who always seemed to have more than you? There is no judgment here. Those are deeply human feelings. But the problem is that no car, no matter how expensive, can fix what is underneath those feelings. And the people who understand this, the people who actually build real wealth, know that the car is a costume. It is a performance of success, not success itself. Here is something that might shock you. Studies consistently show that the majority of millionaires in America drive ordinary vehicles. Toyota Camrys, Honda Accords, Ford F-150s. Not because they cannot afford something flashier, but because they understand that real wealth is not something you wear or drive. It is something that shows up on a balance sheet, and they would rather have the balance sheet. The people who look the richest are often the ones who are the least wealthy, and the people who look ordinary are sometimes the ones quietly building something extraordinary. That is a hard truth in a culture that tells you the opposite every single day. Every commercial, every Instagram ad, every celebrity endorsement is pushing you toward the performance of wealth, the appearance of having made it. And it costs you a fortune. The third thing nobody tells you, and this one really stings, is what it does to your options. At 25, your life is wide open. You could move to a new city for an incredible job opportunity. You could start a side business. You could take 6 months off to travel. You could go back to school. You could say yes to 100 different things that could redirect your entire future. But a $720 a month car payment does not care about your options. It shows up on the first of every single month, no matter what is happening in your life. And because of that payment, and the insurance, and the maintenance, and the interest, your financial flexibility shrinks. You start making choices based on what you can afford, not what you actually want. You stay in the job you do not love because you need the paycheck. You skip the opportunity because the timing is not right. You tell yourself, maybe next year, until next year becomes 5 years, and then 10. Financial flexibility is invisible when you have it, and absolutely crushing when you do not. And buying a dream car too early is one of the fastest ways to trade your freedom for a monthly payment. Let me tell you about what happened to Jordan at 30. He went back to that financial advisor's office, not because he was in a crisis, but because his cousin, same age, same kind of job, had just put a down payment on a rental property, and Jordan could not figure out how. Turned out his cousin had been driving a $180 a month used car since he was 23. He invested the difference every single month for 7 years. He had enough saved for a down payment, an emergency fund, and still had money in the market. Jordan sat there and did the math for the first time. Really did it. With actual numbers. And it hit him in a way that no one's advice ever had before. He had not just bought a car. He had traded a piece of his future for a feeling that lasted 3 months. He sold the BMW that year, bought a used Mazda for cash, and started over. The good news is this. Whether you are 22 or 28 or 32, it is not too late. The best financial decision you can make is always the next one, but you have to make it with clear eyes. You have to see through the emotion, through the marketing, through the cultural pressure that tells you that you deserve it now and can pay for it later. You do deserve great things, but not all great things come at the right time. And the people who understand timing, who delay the performance and focus on the foundation, end up being the ones who can genuinely afford everything they want. Without the weight of regret pulling at them, the dream car is not the enemy. The timing is. There is a version of your life where you drive that car at 35 or 40, paid in cash, with a portfolio behind you that makes the payment completely irrelevant. where getting it does not feel like a stretch. It feels like a reward that actually makes sense, where you pull out of that dealership feeling genuinely free instead of secretly terrified about the monthly statement. That version of your life is available to you, but it is built in your 20s, not spent in them. One last thing before you go. The next time you are sitting in a dealership, or scrolling through car listings at midnight, or watching someone pull up in a car that makes your chest tighten with, want to ask yourself one honest question. Am I buying this because I can truly afford it, or because I want to feel like I can? That one question answered honestly will do more for your financial future than any spreadsheet or budgeting app ever could. Jordan wishes someone had asked him that at 25. Now you have heard it. What you do next is entirely up to you. If this video shifted the way you are thinking about money, this channel was built for you. Every week we break down real financial decisions in plain English, no jargon, no judgment, just the truth about how money actually works. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And share this with one person who is thinking about making a big purchase right now. That one share might save them thousands of dollars and years of regret. See you in the next one.